You've connected to Cisco Unplugged.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 85 of Cisco Unplugged, your show for all things wireless. I'm Dan Klamert, your host, and I'm here again with Al Dumdei. How are you doing today, Al?
Good, doing good, Dan. This morning, I have to say, this morning reminds me. I grew up on the farm, right, and so we used to like if you put a bunch of like stallions in a pen, right, they will pester each other and they'll be running around and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of describes this morning getting ready for the show. This was a lot of fun. So I think we're in for a good one here.
Yeah, I was, my cheeks were already hurting from laughing so much here at in the pre-show warm-up. Yeah, so today on episode 85 here, we're talking about, just to bring everyone else into the fold here, we're talking about our session at Cisco Live called the Titans of Wireless. And we have some members here from our all-star panel, and I am super excited and we're privileged, quite honestly, to have these gentlemen here today on the show. So I'd like to welcome them to the show and have them introduce themselves, and welcome back, most of them. You've been on the show previously, but thanks for being here. And I guess we can start with, I'll start with Josh.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, I'm Josh Sir, here at Cisco. Been around for a little while, not as long as some of these other folks. About 15 years now, I guess. Happy to be here. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks for being here, Josh. All right, Matt.
Hey, I'm Matt Swartz, distinguished engineer on the wireless product team at Cisco, around 23 years. Never been called a Titan before, so that's a first. I wasn't sure what to wear. I was thinking about a tuxedo.
Everyone knows you're a Titan. Come on.
I don't know what Titans wear. Maybe we should open a poll and just, so when we actually have this session in Vegas, I know what to wear. I'm confused.
Tuxedo t-shirt.
I'm just hanging on I do have a tuxedo t-shirt. I would wear that for sure.
I told you.
That'd be nice.
It says you're classing it up, but you're dumbing it down at the same time. I like it.
Yeah. Nice. All right, Jim, welcome back.
Hey, well, happy to be here again, and always appreciate the work that you guys do here. I'm Jim Florwick. I'm a principal technical marketing engineer with the business unit, the product team for wireless, and I look around at the panel we've assembled here, and heck, I'm impressed to be here. So it's bound to be a good time.
It is, yeah. Thank you. I'm just happy that I think this is maybe the most people we've had on the screen, and it hasn't crashed or anything yet. So I'm just happy that we're
winning. Good day.
Wait for it.
Now I jinxed it. Knock on wood here, but thanks, Jim. All right, Jerome, welcome.
Hi. Yeah, thank you, Jerome Henry. I'm Matt's younger and better-looking brother. I'm also a distinguished engineer.
Better looking for sure.
In the office of the wireless studio.
See, it begins already. We can't even make it through intros without joking.
Sorry, Matt.
Great.
Exactly. Thank you, Jerome. Welcome. And last but not least, Simone. Welcome.
Hey guys. Well, you kind of stole my line. I wanted to say that I work with Matt. That's the only thing that really matters for me. Well, I'm a distinguished engineer in the Cisco Wireless team as well. And whatever Matt and Jim don't want to do, I'll take it. So
it's like pretty much everything. Lately, I'm just like, yeah, go ahead.
He's lying to you. I clean up behind him a lot.
So, boy. And Simone, Simone comes the furthest, right? So you're in Italy, right, Simone?
I'm in Italy. Yes, I'm based in Italy. But I've been working remotely for the BU for 15 years now. So I'm kind of, when COVID hit, I was like, nothing changed for me.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I work across time zone, India, East Coast, West Coast. interesting, but it's not that bad. My mornings are pretty quiet, so I can focus, and then the madness starts when you guys wake up.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Then Matt comes online.
I hit him up this morning, first thing. I hadn't even had coffee yet.
So,
Nice. Well,
so if I look at kind of across the panel, you guys have all kind of gotten here in different ways. Let's start with Josh. Josh, tell me, like, you're now a distinguished engineer, right, in the CX organization.
You got it.
What is, like, that's an important position. How did you get there, right? Like, what if somebody coming into networking? How'd you do that?
Yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure. Kind of went right out of high school into a network admin job where I was not old enough to rent a car, but getting flown around the country replacing old SCO Unix servers. And from there, went to work for a Cisco partner, and then put in some time there. But really, it all came down to kind of the 2010 timeframe. We were building a new soccer stadium here in Kansas City, where I live, and a few kind of ballers from Cisco flew in because they were the only people doing high density Wi-Fi around the world at the time. And we at the partner, we needed a little bit of help, and this dude Matt showed up, tall guy,
looked a lot like Jerome, just
cracking. Yeah. He shows up cracking jokes, and I was like, hey, this is kind of fun, because I was a bit of a generalist at the time. I was doing route switch, wireless, security, you name it. I had done it for the partner, but getting into Wi-Fi, it was like night and day. There was something about it that, as you can tell, there's still wires involved in Wi-Fi. But there was something about being on that bleeding edge back in that time frame. We were still in 2.4 days, 3 channels, and yet 12,000, 20,000 people trying to get on the network at the same time. And it was really awesome. It kind of engaged a lot of parts of my brain, of the art and the science and so I loved it. Matt kind of pulled me aside one day. He was like, hey, would you consider doing this kind of longer term? Because there was a lot going on in this space at the time. We were trying to innovate really quickly. And he said, hey, we may have an opportunity for you. So, and honestly, that set the trajectory for the next 15 plus years of my life. And it's been a blast. It's been an absolute blast. So
I learned a lot too, by the way. I learned about Tank 7, his favorite beer in KC. I learned about Jack Stack, really good barbecue. Like, it was great.
That's right. So it's been a ton of fun, but honestly, I just I'm a guy who likes to be safe and stay in safe roles, and I'm not one who hops around a lot, but I'm really glad I took that plunge, because Wi-Fi has been a blast. It constantly challenges me to learn new things and to keep up with what's going on. And also, I mean, I ended up with some really good buddies that I work with all the time. And it's been great. So
I always tell a story that when I first met you, you and Matt were presenting. And
this one's so bad for me. Here comes this.
Oh yeah. And the thing that I took away from the presentation was, I needed Josh, because Matt would always go, oh, and then Josh has this, right? And then he's like, we took all this data. Well, Josh took all this data and then he produced this chart.
What's so great,
show him,
though,
Josh, the chart you produced. And then it's like,
what is so great is, like, as I was talking, I would have something come up in my head, and before I could even tell him, he's already sharing it on the screen. And I was like, yes, yep,
before there was
that
AI,
right there. Yep.
Yeah, before AI, there was Matt.
And now, like, he doesn't, he's lucky, because once he basically taught me how to fish recently. And like, now I'm like, man, wait till you see the slides I create. I mean, I don't create them. I just tell AI to create them. But before, Josh had to do them all, basically.
Yeah.
Well, and Matt is taking a lot of flack here on the show, but so I have a question, or maybe some comments, or maybe some shots. We'll take, you be the judge here. But I guess you guys have been at a lot of these large events, and you've been on the show previously talking about Super Bowl, maybe more recently the Olympics. But what I'm more interested in is how you've turned your career now into, professionally cruising, and specifically, trying to get 6 gigahertz, through the FCC approved for cruise ships, since you're on them so frequently.
Well, I will say, I mean, it was definitely an opportunity that I seized, but throughout our explorations of high density Wi-Fi, believe it or not, these cruise ships, I mean, they are more intense than a lot of stadiums. They have more APs. Some of these ships these days have over 5,000 APs, which
Wow.
you can't find, very many stadiums that have 5,000 APs.
Wow.
So then we got to meet some people there, and next thing you know, a brand new ship's coming out, and they're like, "Hey, we're having some trouble. Can you come help us?" And I remember it pretty clearly because I was like, "It's my birthday this weekend," and then they're like, "Well, bring your wife," and I was like, I mean, it still work. Bring your, and everything's covered. And next thing you know, we're on this cruise ship, and it's brand new, and it's pretty awesome, and everything is taken care of. And we did fix a lot of things, but while we were on that ship, I was like, man, it's kind of absurd that these rules don't allow 6 gigahertz on vessels. And that was about 2 years ago. And then we went and sat down and we filed a patent with a really good idea of how to do it. And now fast forward to like just last week, we filed a bunch of information with the FCC. I went I went in March on a vacation. Actually, no, it was actually work, but it felt like a vacation to take a bunch of, basically site survey information, and measured a bunch of distances, and showed basically the whole premise is like, if you think that you can run 6 gigahertz in a house and that the building entry loss of the house is okay, a ship is, way worse than that, like nothing. So we went and we put together a bunch of stuff, and we filed all that last week. So we're hoping to get some of these rules changed is what I was trying to get to in a long roundabout way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's other rules too, like you go on a ship and tell me how many external antennas you see. They're everywhere. Guess what? You can't do that either. So we're just trying to knock down some of these rules to make it easier to use, to make it make more sense.
Yeah, but the 6 gigahertz rules get pretty complicated. There's a lot of little nuances in them. So yeah, then you add the fact that it's a ship, it's a moving vehicle, it's international waters, maybe, I don't know. So
yeah.
There's all kinds of fun
stuff. Is that really
the
FCC or not?
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, next is going to be the stadium that are considered outdoor, but most of the stadium are completely covered, right? So
it's the same type of thing, even if it doesn't have a roof. Like if you think about how a stadium is, and you think about we're largely using directionals that are aimed down, and so it's just we're going through all these challenges. The enclosure one, like not being able to have LPI in a weatherized enclosure, we're working on something there as well. But I think it's just one of those, they went ultra safe in the beginning, and we'll educate that, hey, this doesn't make sense. We should open this up.
Yeah. Well, so Simone, you were talking about stadiums. Let me back up just a little bit. So have you been doing wireless? Like, has that been your entire career then? Have you been in wireless your entire career? Did you start in high school with wireless?
No.
It was actually 4th grade. He had his
fourth
first
grade.
router.
4th grade. Okay.
No, actually, when I joined Cisco, I was all routing and switching. At that time, that was the cool stuff to do. And I remember when I moved to this, my first job as a technical marketing engineer was enterprise solution engineering, and we were doing end-to-end testing. And I joined this team with a lot of senior people. And at that time, it was, early 2000. The cool stuff was, the latest panning tree version, multi-supervisor redundancy. They were all focused on this, and nobody wanted to work on wireless. So when I got to the team, I was the junior guy. So you take wireless, right? So, and honestly, it wasn't love at first sight, because everybody was not, I thought I got screwed by got assigned to wireless. And I started working with this. I don't know if you guys remember, maybe not a lot of people. It goes back, but we had on the Catalyst 6500, we had a blade that was our first kind of controller aggregator for traffic. It was codenamed Screaming Eagle, WSM, the WISM model.
WISM 1.
Yes. So I was the TME for that. So I tested everything, and so from there, from that I got to all you need is love and Wi-Fi. I mean, that's how it went.
Shortly.
I think there was a little bit of therapy in there too.
Yeah. But you're also doing some things now like Fabric, right? Like you're looking at some of the newer BGP VPN fabrics that being done from the cloud.
Yes.
And stuff like that, right?
Yes. So I was not joking in the sense, I mean, I was joking, but in our team, I have the privilege to work with both Jim and Matt, and they are, much more into RF than myself, because I was not raised with that. So literally we kind of split in the sense that all radio RF side, they are the expert, and when it hits the wire, that's kind of when I come in. So the whole architecture piece. So lately, we have been very busy because we have introduced Campus Gateway on on the cloud management solution. We have introduced Fabric. So I think we are at a point, I'm pretty proud of that we are not forcing our customer into an architecture just because that's the only thing that is available if they pick a certain way of manage their network. It doesn't matter. They manage on-prem, they manage in the cloud or even hybrid, and they can choose if they want to use a distributed data plane architecture for wireless or with or without Fabric, or they want to centralize for whatever reason traffic. So I think we now have very flexible choices for our customer, but definitely it is a lot of work, and we need to continue to evolve this architecture, and that's what we mainly focus on working these days.
Yeah. Okay. So again, because part of this is we just want the audience to know this, that we're going to have this session at Cisco Live. And by the way, you can ask questions. We're going to give you a Slido link. You can ask questions. But one of the reasons I'm asking about the background is that way, if you have specific questions, you can ask, like you said, hey, ask Simone, I want to know about Cloud Fabric or something like that, right? You can ask something specific to a specific person as well. So I want everybody to kind of get to know each other a little bit here. So, and then Jim, you came in the Cognio acquisition, is that right? Did you?
I did.
And Simone said you were raised on RF too, or by RF.
Oh.
Either one. But all kidding aside, a lot of times when I do think of RF and Cisco, and specifically too like RRM and AIRRM, I do think about you.
I got to stay very, very deep here, and you're right. That's how I got to Cisco was the Cognio acquisition, and that was actually a departure for me because I'd been routing and switching and doing all those things. Actually, I was field service at NCR when we did Cisco's contracts, and somewhere around here just recently, I parted ways with my 450 AGS that I still had somewhere in the basement, and so had been around it for a long time, but when we got into Wi-Fi and Cognio came along and controllers, about the time controllers got there, started solving enterprise level problems, right? I heard, hey, we're all going to go wireless first. And I thought, oh boy, we're going to need tools, right? So I got with Cognio. Cognio bought Cisco. And then when I got here, they looked at me and they said, no, man, spectrum analysis and RF at a core level. We really like it if you just did that. So I have been, and that's why I keep very good friendships with the other smart people on this panel, because much above layer 2, I start to get lost pretty quick. So, but yeah, it's been a good career from that aspect. It's 11 of 127 is the Borg nomenclature for that acquisition, by the way. I was number 11 of the 127th. But where it's gone since then, I mean, people ask me all the time, how much do you think we'll be able to get over the air? And I can tell you in 45 years in this industry, I've been wrong about every one of those predictions, right?
That's
So
very true.
it's an amazing thing to still be
Yeah.
here and be working on the things that we're working on now. I didn't even think they were possible 10 years ago. So
yeah. Oh, that's very true. So we haven't talked to Jerome yet.
Yeah,
So
I had a question for him on his book.
Wait, which one? He has like the library.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
The
Congress.
Wi-Fi. That's true. Good point. The Wi-Fi 7 in-depth one that I would highly recommend if you haven't read it to check it out.
This one right here.
Is that signed, Al?
That is such an old news thing. Do you know that Jerome's already writing Wi-Fi 10?
Oh, I know. So here's my thing with Jerome is Jerome, we have to like constantly invent new awards because he's got all the existing awards. Like, they're like, it's like super duper speaker with 14 plaques on the wall and it's like 9,000 awards of some sort, right? It's like patents or whatever, right? It's like, and then we have to announce him. It's like, okay, what do you say, right? So maybe Jerome, I know when I first met you, you were teaching Wi-Fi, right? Didn't you do that for a while?
Yeah. So I'm not as old as Simone. I started in wireless. So Simone was probably in the 50s, 60s where routing switching was cool. I was already at the end of the 90s where Wi-Fi was already cool. And I was working for a small company called Aerospace. It was an American company. They had these things called controllers. And those of you who are in the US, you probably know they have these territories. You have the Northeast, the Northwest, and they had a territory called rest of the world, which was, anything from the Bahamas to Hawaii going, sideways through Europe and China and everything. So they have three guys covering this territory. So I was, one of the three guys doing everything from, customer support deployment in crazy places like, warships in China or New York Stock Exchange, where they say, I won't be Rome if I move my hand left or right because it's not the same, bidding area. So that was very interesting and crazy. And then in 2005, Cisco acquired Aerospace. So at the beginning, exactly as you say, Al, I was, teaching TAC and also the Cisco folks about what wireless controllers were and how they were working. That was very, very long time ago. And just like Jim was saying, it's been an amazing journey because every single time we think we have solved a problem, somebody shows up with a new problem where we said, well, the laws of physics just don't allow you to do whatever you described. And then we walk back and then we knock him and say, wait, unless, and then we start trying to bend things a little bit. And then we figure out that maybe we can get a bit closer and then we do it and say, done. All right, time to retire. And then somebody else shows up and the story continues.
So when you came into Cisco, have you been in the CTO group the entire time, or?
No, at the beginning I was a TME, and that's how I met Simone. And you know what? I used to know Jim before even Cisco, when he was Cogno and was a previous company. So it's a small world of smart brains being around me and contaminating me all around. So when I joined Cisco, I was first teaching TAC and these things. Then I was in the TME organization with Simone. And then because my mind is twisted into trying to invent problems so I can solve them, I've turned slowly into the CTO land, and I've been there at CTO land for about 10 years now. Looking at what Wi-Fi will look like in 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, that's what I remember first meeting Jerome when I was an SE, and kind of like Simone's story where I was thrown in when I first came to Cisco. You're the wireless guy. I was like, okay, I don't really know anything about wireless, but I guess I'll figure that out. And turns out it became my passion. I really loved it eventually. But I remember going to San Jose for we call them the VTs at the time, and just learning so much from Jerome, and quite honestly, so many of you as well. But talking about client roaming and all the stuff that you talked about, our partnerships and at the time, and so really privileged to have all of you here, not only here as a teaser, but more importantly for this session at Cisco Live. Super excited. I think, like Al said, if you are going to live, I'd strongly encourage you to check this out. Submit your questions ahead of time. We'll be advertising the Slido here to submit your questions ahead of time. You can always submit them live in the session as well. But if you have some ahead of time before you forget them, get them in, and we'll be sure to try and get those answered on the in the session in Las Vegas.
Have a question. I'll start one of kind of a preliminary question.
You should use the Slido, Al.
Didn't you just hear me, Al? I mean,
can you follow instructions?
Such a rebel.
Just this will be the challenge during the sessions.
Exactly.
Communication. No. We've been talking about Wi-Fi a lot, but I know both. I mean, probably all of you to some degree, but Jerome, you've been dealing with some ultra wideband. Jim, you've been dealing with ultra wideband. Probably some more on the theoretical, some more on the practical side. Where are we with? I mean, we've got ultra wideband in our APs now. We're we're learning about how it works, what it deploys. What can we tell the audience about what's interesting about ultra wideband? Is it driving our deployments, our densities? Is it giving us new capabilities? What is ultra wideband doing for us? And I'll leave it up to either one of you guys who wants to start.
Jim, go ahead. You're the RF expert. I'll tell them about the protocol then if you want.
Well, it's for me, seeing ultra wideband come into the product. I mean, we've been watching location and Wi-Fi as a sensor and being able to use that deployment for other things for a long time. And for a long time, it was just Wi-Fi. Then it was BLE, and then in quick succession, and thanks a lot to Jerome and his persistence, we've got FTM into the product. We were looking at UWB, which, if you haven't seen it, is amazing location, right? It's everything you ever wanted in a location solution, from a real-time positioning that's accurate, is there, right? So it's an interesting technology from that aspect, being wideband, very accurate. What we're seeing in context right now, I like to say something like, AI can fix anything AI can see, right? And if you look at like just engines in cars, when we first put computer chips in those and let an AI that essentially runs inside of there make decisions, it was hit or miss, right? And then it got better, and then it got better. And as it got better, what we noticed was we were able to sense things, right? We learned to put oxygen sensors before and after the combustion stage, right? Little things. And to me, wireless is completely contextual. So there's a lot of good reasons to have location solutions, right? From building management to efficiencies. But I'm looking forward to getting context into the machine so that it can truly see what's happening and where it's at. And I think from a UWB standpoint, it requires more density if we're putting it on the APs. But what we're finding is that density already exists. What may not exist in the field is, maybe you hadn't thought about location like perimeters and choke points and things like that. But in a lot of cases, it's not much of an uplift to make it work. So it's an amazing time. We've got a lot of ways to locate you now, and bringing those all together in one box is the right answer, because all of them have misgivings in different environments or different use cases, right? So it's an exciting time. We're going to bring everything together.
Nice. Jerome, you have any?
And the good thing about ultra wideband as well is that, as Jim says, the accuracy you get because it's wideband, and if you come to the Cisco Live show, we will tell you more in details. But the wider the bandwidth, the more accurate location, and what you get with ultra wideband is something like a couple of inches in free space, which is amazing. You cannot do that with any other technology.
Yep.
And the very cool thing is that because we are right at the beginning of the technology, we are in what we call FIRA, which is the Wi-Fi Alliance equivalent for ultra wideband. We are designing it to be right, which means that we are designing it to allow you to do untracked navigation if you don't want to be tracked in a shopping mall if you want to, but also if you are in an industrial environment and you need to track an asset, we allow it to be designed specifically for this use case. So, we're tailoring the technology to make it do exactly what we need to do. We're not trying to recycle an existing technology into doing something that, it wasn't kind of designed to do, but maybe we can twist it so that it does. So that's a great thing about ultra wideband. I see a great future for it.
Nice. Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to flip back to wireless, to Wi-Fi again. But I mean, I think there's a lot of areas that. Well, before we do that, do you envision things like fusion coming out in the near future, like ultra wideband maybe being fused with other technologies and that kind of stuff? Is that something that?
Yeah, all of us do. Yes, yes. I mean, it's dumb to have a religion about bad technology, right? Any technology that allows you to get information, we'll use. So as you know, in our APs, we have GPS for those APs that are at the edge, and then we share that stuff with FTM so that we cross-correlate. With ultra wideband, we get even narrower. So in the client devices, in your Android phones or iPhones, just like in our infrastructure, we are collecting all the information that can help you. And then we're using some clever algorithm to say, which one can I trust more now, based on what I'm hearing, and which information can I give you, which is the most accurate based on all these things combined together. And I think, the future is just like that. One single technology helps you solve some cases. Fusion helps you solve everything. Yeah, that's the future.
Right. Okay. So going back to Wi-Fi, and we'll throw this back to Matt and Josh again. So you guys, I mean, you've done all sorts of big public venues, Super Bowls, all of that sort of stuff, right? Are there any moments from those events that you were like, well, that was close. We almost made the news or something. It's like, this could have been, or maybe there was. It's like, we did make the news. I don't know. Did you make
it? It did make the news. Yeah. Yeah. And everybody saw it all around the world.
Okay.
There was one particular event where we were working in the back rooms, as we often tend to do. People are always like, oh, you get to go to Super Bowls and you get to go to the Olympics and all this stuff. And sure, you get to see some cool stuff, but 99% of the time you're sitting in the worst possible spot in that place, and you're sitting on a cardboard box, and you're just trying to make sure nothing collapses,
with
right?
3 legs. Remember that?
Yeah.
That's where they put the IT.
Every other place to sit's been rented already.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. So, we start getting text messages and phone calls from people that are like, what did you do? Did you trip over a cord?
Yeah, it's like, what'd you do? Unplug
Something
it?
happened? Did you unplug something? And of course, the power was out in half of the stadium we were working in, and it was very visible, let's just say, to millions of people. And yeah, Matt, we had a pretty fun night that night, trying to keep everything hobbling along.
It was chaos because the power didn't go out where we were sitting, and all your monitoring tools and all that take minutes to realize that things are going down. But there was a couple key things. One is, even though we focus on Wi-Fi, and I want Simone to take all the fabric questions in the world, so everyone put those to him. But I was a routing and switching CCIE long before I did anything with Wi-Fi. But the actual core network architecture of that network was done right. So even though we lost power to half the building, we did some interesting things, and I'll give credit to one of the partners, Bill from AmpThink. The core was all on UPS at this moment, and I think Bill kind of drove that decision. Said, hey, we should shut down half the core. Why? Well, because the batteries are going to last way longer if you're only running on one. Guess what? No one noticed, because the network was built right.
Yeah.
You can shut down half the core and no one should notice. So things like that were the positive side. The negative side was when we did walk out of that little scary room we were in, it was even scarier inside the Superdome with no lights. And I went right back to that room. I was like, lock the door. People are getting crazy out there. Yeah, so, it was interesting.
Didn't you light off some pyrotechniques or something like that at one time? Didn't that,
I didn't light them off. Someone almost lit me off.
Oh. That's how the story goes. Okay.
That was during a Super Bowl. During an actual Super Bowl, we had warned the NFL that there was an interferer up on the catwalk prior, and people were hesitant to make a change to it because they didn't know what it was. And that's what happens a lot of times. You're like, I'm not sure whose that is, so we're not going to touch it. But then later during the game, it was the NFL folks had a suite in close proximity below it, and they felt like they were being impacted. And at the time, their SVP was like, can you go up there and unplug that thing? And Josh has got pictures, and so we climb up during the game. I'm looking down through the catwalk, and I see people's heads, and I'm like, my phone is vibrating like crazy, and it's them calling us. And I'm like, there's no way I'm taking my phone out of my pocket and dropping it on somebody's head during the middle of the Super Bowl. So I'm like, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. And Josh took a cool picture of me unplugging it with another guy, Scott. And we come down, and I finally answer my phone, and they're like, get off the catwalk now. And I'm like, what? We're off. The halftime show, all the fireworks were up there. We didn't know. That could have been a career-ending moment.
Wow.
Well, that might have made the news.
Would have made the news for sure.
Man with hair on fire.
Yeah, we've done a few things where we've got a couple. Josh is the holder of all the videos. I made a swing out of a hoist at the Claire studio one time, and there was a remote control where you could. So I made it. I was just pressing the up button as I was swinging, going up into the.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, after that Super Bowl event, Josh sent out a picture of you holding one of them big heavy-duty power cables too.
I did. Yeah.
Looking for one end.
Yep. It's kind of frayed on the other end. Yeah.
Ooh, busted.
There's been some interesting times traveling the world doing stuff like this. For sure. Put those in the questions. We got to put up the Slido. Should we do that yet?
We do. Let's do that. We got to wrap up here too.
Here we go. Let me figure out how this thing works. And I just want everybody to know that this might be the first professional looking slide that Josh didn't do for me.
Wow.
I'm telling you, Josh, him and his new friend.
Look,
I was just saying, but
been replaced.
Help from somebody else or something else.
Sir Claude did this for me in about 2 seconds. And and I'm like, wow, that looks better than I would have done on my own.
That's very nice. Yeah, exactly. So
so please join us at in Las Vegas for our session here. It's I think it's BRKEWN-1012, but thank you all of you for being here. This is going to be a great session. Really looking forward to it. The Titans of Wireless. We couldn't have assembled a better panel. We do have a special guest too that's going to be a surprise as well. So be sure to check that out, and super excited to have them as well. But any other wrapping comments here before we go?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the questions. So scan the QR code, get some good ones in there, keep it entertaining.
This is your chance to embarrass these guys too.
Oh, God, that'll be.
Oh no!
Feel free to ask direct questions. Like
I was just going to say, apparently I forgot to teach Matt how to use presentation mode. So
oh man, hang on.
Baby steps.
You can ask questions like, "Did Josh ever have long hair?" Right? Things like that. Right? And it's possible there are pictures and stuff like that come out based on those questions. So feel free to ask questions.
Thanks, Matt.
I had to ask AI how to do it, Josh.
If you want to know where Wi-Fi 8 and 9 are going, Jerome's involved in that. Matt's involved in that. All these guys have a tremendous amount of vision into the what's going on in the future, where we're at today. So we will also open up, for those of you that register for it, we'll open up the Teams room ahead of time, like on Monday when you get there, so you can ask more questions there. But please, get your questions in. We got plenty of questions for these guys, but
we'd love you to ask the questions. And if you have any TAC cases, bring those. Al be there. He can help.
Super hard questions go to Jerome. Any complicated fabric question definitely goes to Simone. Favorite place to have happy hour comes to me and Josh.
That for PowerPoint tips too.
Look,
PowerPoint used to be my kryptonite. Now I'm like, I got you, PowerPoint.
You did catch that when Matt said that he wasn't sure if he was going to do the cruises, right? But his interview went like this: "Is there a bar on those ships?" And the answer came back 2 or 3. He's like, "I'm in."
Actually, the answer came back like 30, and I was like,
2 or 3. I was like 2 or 3 every 10 feet. Yeah,
that's right.
On my way.
Hold that thought. I'll be right there.
Well, thank you very much for those of you watching. Thank you very much to our esteemed panel. Really looking forward to this session in Las Vegas here. If you go, the scheduler is open, so go out there, register for the session. Look forward to seeing you out there. And again, the YouTube channel here, youtube.com/@getunplugged. Go out there, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like the videos too. It helps our algorithm reach other people, reach people for the show. And when you do turn on the subscribe notification, you'll be notified when we do go live with other content like this. We've got some great stuff coming up. We've got our schedule out there. If you go to our YouTube channel, which I just mentioned, the first link down is our schedule, our upcoming schedule. We've got some exciting episodes. We, I think, are talking more about UWB upcoming. We've got some other shows as well. We'll have Dave Benham back and some other exciting shows about interference and at large venues. And so lots of great stuff coming up. Really appreciate everyone. If you want to reach out to us, send questions. You can send them via that Slido QR code that Matt somehow figured out how to share here on the screen. So thank you, Matt. Really appreciate that. Yep. And you can always email us at the show, getunplugged@cisco.com. Our account team, your account team, knows how to get a hold of us too. Twitter on X, Unplugged 80211, or Threads at Unplugged Connectivity. So thank you very much, all of you. Really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you out in Las Vegas. And until next time, stay connected and unplugged.